Everyone, I'm Alex from Generator and I'm here today with our brand new CEO, Hannah Matterson. I'm really pleased to be talking to you a little bit more about what your first week has been like, what it is that you're doing at Generator and your ambitions going forward. To start with, how has your first week been? Obviously, it's been a very different kind of start to a new job than usual.
Yeah, so it's not the most conventional start to any job I've ever had. There was no real induction process, didn't get shown where the toilets were because they're just in the house, all of that kind of stuff. um, but it's actually been really great. It's been my first week flew by because sort of between jobs had a little bit of time, and um, when you're on lockdown, that time just seems to last forever. So quite happy to be getting stuck in to stuff now. And it's been really nice to finally meet sort of all of the team as well. I've known a couple of them for a couple of years, sort of briefly, but you know, a lot of you I'd never seen your faces before last Monday, so it was quite a nice thing. And I think over the last week, I've gotten to sort of get to grips with how things are working here, which is always a good start, I think.
And it's always difficult enough coming into a new role and getting to grips with it and, fitting into the company. But what is it like joining the company as the CEO? So you're right in at the deep end. It's very different to say even just joining, as an employee or starting the business yourself. So you've been there from the very beginning. So what's that
Yeah,
like?
well, I've had dealings, I suppose, with Generator for a number of years through some of my previous roles. So I was quite lucky in that I know what we do as an organisation, and I knew beforehand what we would be doing. So I've been able to kind of sort of do a bit of background work before starting and kind of try and get up to speed as much as possible. But to come in and to take over the lead of an organisation like this is a big thing. It's a little bit daunting, a little bit scary. It's admittedly my first role as a CEO, um, but it's also something that I'm really passionate about, and it's something that I really care about music, and I really care about kind of SMEs and digital and tech stuff. So it's something that I've found interesting and really easy to kind of yeah. As much as it's been thrown in at the deep end, I've been able to swim. So it's not been too hard in that sense. Um, it's a different change of gear. Um, it's there isn't any easing in. You're here and you hit the ground running, and in this case, sprinting. It's a well connected organisation, and there's a lot of people who we work with who I need to maintain and continue to build those relationships with. So there's a lot of that stuff going on at the moment. But I love that. I love meeting new people. I love having those kind of conversations and coming up with ideas and those little sparks of energy that you think, oh, there's something in this. What can we be doing? So it's nice to be able to be in a position where I can make those decisions and also work with a team of people who can help support those and feed into all of the work that we do.
Now, you say that you're passionate about music and about the creative sector and creative digital and SMEs. What is your background? So where did that kind of come about? I know that you've done quite a bit over the last few years between different cities and things. So how did you come to be a generator?
Um, uh, it, when people ask me this question, I always go back probably too far, but it makes more sense then. So when I was at uni at Northumbria, I did a geography degree and studied not soil and mountains and rivers and stuff, but people and places, and did my dissertation on the northeast music industry. Um, and the creative industries were the thing that I thought this is the stuff that I want to be doing. Um, and that that really sparked something in me from that point. And then I worked at the Bunker in Sunderland, which is a community music project. So working with kind of grassroots local music scenes. I've helped at festivals. I've run my own music festival, and then I was part of the MAC Trust, which is the Music Arts and Culture Trust in Sunderland, who are redeveloping a whole cultural quarter in the city. And from that also led to me being part of the team that put together Sunderland's bid to be the next UK City of Culture for 2021. We were unsuccessful, and I'm a Macam lass, and that's hard to take. So spent a lot of time and effort on a place that I love, and then to not win was pretty crushing. So jumped ship all the way to Gateshead to the Sage. Did a bit of time there, and then worked sort of freelance for a bit, and finally ended up in Manchester, working at Manchester Metropolitan University, working on kind of innovation projects. So all the way through my career, it's always been about fundraising and partnerships, and that's the thing that I love doing the most. And kind of alongside that, the kind of context in which I work is always has to be interesting for me. So whether that's been music, culture as a whole, the creative industries, innovation, digital, that sort of stuff. Um, so I got to meet and work with some weird and wonderful companies um, in and around Manchester, in fact, all over the UK, which was great. I mean, I did projects that were about finding cures for cancer and Fitbits for dogs. So it's, it was wide and varied. And then this role came up, and honestly, I didn't see myself moving back to the northeast for a while. But then this was too much of a good opportunity for me not to throw my hat in the ring, I think. And I knew that this was like a thing that I really wanted to do and that I could do. Um, and having been a director of another company called We Make Culture, which works with young people in Sunderland, doing music projects there, I was sort of like, actually, maybe it's about time I went back to that thing of doing music stuff rather than just business. So yeah, and now I'm here.
So that leads me really well actually onto the kind of next question, which you kind of already answered really, but what was it that interested you in leading Generator forward? So I know that you've mentioned obviously it was your dream job and you'd had like previous contact with Generator over the last few years anyway. But what was it about the job that made you really want to lead the company forward? Because that's quite like a big decision that you've got to really want to do it. So what was that kind of inspiration behind that?
I think it felt like the right time for me, that I'd sort of broadened my horizons, and I'd done a bit of everything that I knew Generator were doing. And it combines a lot of stuff that I really care about and that I'm really interested in. And I think you can only ever do your best work if you really care about it. So it's difficult to have a job if your heart's not really in it. Um, and there's not very many opportunities like this, that the stuff that Generator does, the kind of help it provides, the support, and working with so many different people, just I couldn't pass up on it. Um, I like I say, I'm just a girl from Sunderland, but I love the northeast, and to get to work kind of regionally is also a big thing for me. I want to do stuff that we can shows a real impact, and I think Generator has the potential to really do that. And I'm always bursting with ideas, and sometimes it's hard. You can't always find a job where you have that outlet to be able to deliver them, and this seemed like it would be the right place to be able to do that for me. Um, and it felt, like I say, it felt like the right time. It felt like the right time for a woman to uh, come into this kind of role and lead an organisation like this, in which works in two sectors that are predominantly male led. So I want to come in and be a bit of that role model for younger women in the region, to show that this kind of role is absolutely achievable. It's not out of anyone's reach, and to do things a bit differently, yeah, to mix it up a bit.
So that leads me really nicely on to the last question, which has kind of got two parts to it.
Yeah.
So answer this however you feel is fit. But what would you love to see Generator achieve over the next 12 months and beyond, in both the music and digital and tech sectors? Because I know that they're two very different sides to the business. So feel free to answer this how is most comfortable.
They are two different sides, but actually, Generator is one body. So my kind of vision for what Generator will do is to be a very inclusive and engaging agency for the Northeast. So whether that's working with businesses and individuals in the tech sector, whether it's working with artists and bands in music, what I want us to be able to do is to provide good service, good quality help and advice and support for people in those sectors, and to really listen to the people that we serve. We offer a service. I don't expect people to give us everything. We need to give them stuff. So I want to kind of broaden our reach. I want to make sure that people know we're open. We're here to help, if and however we can. And we're always here for a conversation. So I think in the next 12 months, it's really about establishing new, exciting, innovative programs of work within both of those sectors, and making sure that we provide stuff that everyone needs and wants, and also coming up with some really cool stuff and new stuff that maybe has not been thought of before, and trying, like I say, trying to mix it up a little bit, and to build a team of us who are confident and outgoing, and who can kind of be real beacons of light for the sectors in each of our roles, and hopefully more and more people will engage with what we're trying to do over that period of time, as they kind of get to know me and get to know the team that we become and how we work. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining me.
No problem. Thanks, Alex.